Hi everybody. So we are going to continue file system chapters of module 4 here. So as we discussed the topics of file system in the previous lectures, that is file system concepts and file access methods and directory structures. These are the three topics we have covered in the previous lecture. Now we are moving to the next topics called as file system mounting, file sharing and protection. These are the three topics here we are going to discuss one by one. So we'll move to the next concept called as a file system mounting here. So what is file system mounting means? A file system must be mounted before it can be accessed here. So if you want to access any file system, that should be attached to the existing file system, then only we can access the file here. So we'll see one of the example here, how to access the or how to mount the files. So in this topic we are going to discuss with the example how the file systems are going to be mounted here. Unmounted file system is going to be mounted with the example. So here it is a one file system, this is another file system shows in the figure A, and A is a existing file system, it is an unmounted partition that we are attaching. Mounting means attaching the file system. So now consider the example, this file system we are mounting under the users directory. So how it is going to be mounted, just see the next diagram attached here. We are attaching here users, that is u gen prog doc are attached now to the root directory under the users directory, and remaining part of the file system are also there, but just we are showing that part how it is attached to the existing file system. Now we can easily access all the information under the user, that is SUE, JNE, PROG and doc. This root is directly attached here. This part is also there and this is also attached. In this diagram only the attached mounted part of the file system is showing in this diagram. So now we can access the information easily, that is mounting and unmounting. Even after mounting, or if any part of the file system is not required, you can unmount here. So now once you do the mounting, attaching and unmounting, we'll go to the next, how to share the files here. Sharing is a very one of the best advantage or the benefit to save the memory space. So when if there is a only one file that is required by 100 or 1000 people, instead of creating 1000 files of the same content with the same name or different name, it is going to waste the space. To avoid that, we are using the concept called as file sharing. Sharing of the files on a multi-user system is desirable here because multiple users are accessing the same file. Sharing may be done through the protection scheme here. We need to provide the protection because there are different types of the users. One user is going to create a file, that is going to be called as a owner, and there are some users are going to belong to a same group, and some of the users are there outside the group also, they are also going to access your. So now we have to provide the protection by using some protection scheme that we are going to cover after this file sharing concept. And on distributed systems, files may be shared across a network. We are going to share the files across the network, and we are going to study one subject detailed in the next semester, that is called as distributed computing system. And another method we are using, network file system, is a common distributed file sharing method here. To implement the distributed file system, we are using the NFS method, network file system method. And here we are going to create the network of files, and those are going to be shared all over the or across the network. So file sharing on a multiple users, how you are going to share the file on a multiple users here. So user IDs, we are using the user IDs to whom or to which user you are going to assign the files. So user ID identifies the users, allowing the permission and the protection to be per users. So there are four users, one is the owner, other three are the other users, those who want to access your information. That time you can apply the permissions. Though how to apply the permissions on a file, we can use it, read, write and execute permissions are there, that we will see in the next part of the or next part of the lecture over here. Another method we are using group IDs, allow the user to be in a groups and permitting a group access rights here. You can assign or you can share the files to other users, individual users, or you can share your files within a group here, within a group users. So now how you are going to share the files, another method we are using, that is one method, user IDs or multiple users. Another method of sharing the file called as a remote file systems. Users networking uses networking to allow file system to access between the systems. So here we are using the different methods to share the file manually via programs like FTP. Automatically we can share the files by using the distributed file system, or semi-automatically via the World Wide Web. These are the three different methods we are using to share the files in the network. Another method we are using here, client server model, allows the clients to mount a remote file system from the servers. So now server can serve multiple clients and users on the client's identification is insecure or complicated. So NFS network file system is standard Unix client server file sharing protocol it is. So there is a no insecure, and CIFS is a standard Windows protocol that is going to be used for sharing the files. And standard operating system file calls are translated into a remote calls here. This is how we are going to access the files using or through sharing the information through remote file system. And there is another method that we have got called as a distributed information systems, such as LDAP, DNS and NIS. Active Directory implement unified access to information needed for the remote computing. This is a method we are using to share the files remotely. This is how we are sharing the files remotely. Now when you are sharing the files remotely or through the network, we are going to face some failure modes. So now when you are accessing the file remote file systems, add a new failure mode here, that is due to a network failure or server failure. This is the one possibility of failure mode when you are accessing the file. A recovery from the failure can involve state information about the status of each remote request that is going to be used to recovery. And stateless protocols such as NFS include all information in the each request, allowing the easy recovery but less security here. There is a less security. You can easily access because we are using the protocol called as a NFS. So here we are going to discuss file sharing consistency semantics. We are going to discuss some of the semantics, consistency semantics of the file sharing. So here specifying how multiple users are to access a shared file simultaneously. So similar to the process synchronization, algorithms tend to be a less complex due to a disk IO and network latency for the file system. So there is a need of synchronization when you are accessing the files. When one user is writing, the other should be or should not access that file which is going to be updated. Otherwise that file is going to be accessed or say given to the user with an inconsistent mode. There is another method we are using, Andrew file system implemented complex remote file system sharing semantics. And Unix file system is another method we are using for sharing the files. Here writes to an open file visible immediately to other users of the same open file, and sharing of the file pointer to allow the multiple users to read and write concurrently. You are going to provide concurrently or parallelly, we can do here. AFS has an session semantics, writes only visible to the sessions starting after the file is closed. After closing the file, AFS has session semantic to start writing contents or visible to the write operations. Otherwise, if that file is going to be read by some user, that file is not visible for the writing. This is how it is going to be implemented. AFS implemented complex remote file sharing semantics here. After discussing the semantics of the file sharing, we'll go to the next topic, that is protection. So when you are sharing the files to the multiple user, there is a need of protection. That is, file owner or creator should be able to control over the file. So what can be done and by whom is going to be done, or by whom is going to be provided the protection here. So types of the access, there are different types of access here: read, write, execute, append, delete, list. These are the different types of access. So we can provide this access permission to the user. So who is having these access permissions, they are going to access here. So mode of access is read, write, access, execute. Mode of the access file is read, write, execute. There are three classes of users. One is the owner. Owner is going to have all the permissions here. Now owner is going to have all the permissions, that is read, write, execute. Group access are going to have only two permissions, that is read, write. no execute permissions, and public access are going to have only execute permissions. So like these are the default permissions that are going to be assigned when the user or you assign the files to the, or you are sharing the files to the others. Other users means group users and public users. So here we are asking the manager to create a group, unique name, say G, and add some user to the group, and whatever the files created by one user in that group can be accessed easily by other users, and they can have a read and write permissions on that file. For the particular file, say game or subdirectory, define an appropriate access. For example, owner is going to have the 7, group is going to have the 6, public is going to have the 1. That is chmod is a command in the Unix operating system we are using to change the file permissions. And here in front of this we are going to mention the file name and attach a group to a file, ch group g game. Like this, if you do this, then group users are going to access the file called as a game with a read write permissions, and other users those are not belongs to the group are going to get the file for execute only, means games are going to be used for playing. This is a Windows XP access control list that is going to be used here. Just when right click and open it, it is in the security, administrator, guest, PBZ, system users, like this. So here you are going to provide full control, modify, read, execute, read, write, special permissions. Like this we are going to specify here. To protect the file we are going to select here how deny or allow. So you can click here to access the file for read only, you click select this checkbox. Deny means all the permissions are denied for that user, guest user. They cannot, he or she cannot be allowed to have a control over the system. This is a way how you are going to protect your files in the computer system. This is an example of sample Unix directory where you are going to see the 9 characters. There are 9 characters after the first digit. First character is going to represent the types of the files here. This first character is going to represent type of files, and next 9 characters are going to represent the permissions or the protection, that is read write execute. For example, this file, what is the file name here? Intro.ps. It is a ordinary file. When it is an ordinary file, it will be shown as a hyphen. When it is a directory file, it is going to start with a D. See here, hyphen D, hyphen D, like this. Ordinary are two types of files, text and binary files. Now first file, see all the users are, owner is going to have the read write, user is also going to have the read write, others are going to have the read permissions. Like this, there are some examples, just you go through it, how the file permissions are going to be assigned. So this is going to be a end of the chapter file system of module 4. Here we are going to cover all the file system interfaces, how the file, this file, what is a file, what are the types of file, what are the operations on a file, how the file is accessed, how the files are organized, so that we can easily access, we can easily name, and we can easily group using the directory levels of structures. And then we have discussed how the files are going to be saved, and then we have discussed how the files are protected if you are sharing to the multiple users. This is about the file system concepts of module 4. This completes here. Thank you.